That's all you hear about anymore. And if you go to 52, there was so much smog in London because everybody burned coal for heat and houses, the street. There was an air inversion of thick fog. 4 to 10,000 people died because of that. Think the movie Mary Poppins. Think of the scene with the chimney sweeps where all you see smoke. Before that, Youngstown, Ohio, we had a big steel mill. Youngstown Sheet too, got the steel and the fuel dioxide in the atmosphere on the east side of town. The mill was shut down in '77 for clean area. Next, think about bonfires and all the smoke in your eyes and throat. Uh, diarrhea. You look at you look at how things have changed over 50 years. Somehow, the environmental celebration, look at all the pollutants that are going to the atmosphere, dropped 78%. While GDP went 300, and this miles almost 200. The economy, keeping stuff. Since a little while back, and then too, we were 3 years ago. But since that ago. Well, what raised everything self in this 50 years? Like, what we used to have was demonstrating in 1991 when Cuba blew up, which was a type of just like I'm saying how, and that pulled the entire world to Europe. That's one eruption. Next, things we have we are in that volcanoes that we born there through the warmer planet. Exclude what's going on under the ocean, which is where the uh, ring of fire is going around the Pacific. Okay? So if we reduce CO2 emissions, which all of everybody concentrated on, it's going to make a difference. So let me switch over to forestry. The degraded forests that we have do not store the carbon. If we restored it, we capture 30% of the excess carbon in the atmosphere. 40% of that is achieved by community. In the lower 48 states, there's 60 million acres of right of way, which is larger than the national park. Crisscross every ecosystem with that. phosphate, the migratory rats, birds. We're not, well, this is inner city Philadelphia. And this is a very beautiful little residential home, little fence, old lady walking in the front, plenty of shade, nice and cool. But the cities are not protecting it. They end up on a zoning change. And I marked the trees in 2011. Sure. And on the right, it's 3 years later, a commercial enterprise took over and they paid the entire property, leaving the trees in little, like they're in, they had to destroy all the root system, lay down rebar and put cement in. That's the photo. Now you see it 10 years later, all the trees are gone. The tree out front on the right, where that car is in the left picture, fell over and they realized it was rotten, so they had to cut down the tree right next to the house. But look at the urban light nice, but see, when we don't protect the tree. Next, what are the utilities doing? A lot of utilities are still top trees, which is not a proper way to prove it. It causes multiple branches, which collects the snow and the ice in the winter, and has big connections and dies back. And then those limbs are what's coming down and causing the power outage. That's utilities will trim trees. They'll say, well, we're on a 4-year cycle, and they release the contract, and the contractor should trim all the trees. Why in a wooded area on a volunteer brush with fire right, take the right of way back? So what we're doing right now, utilities top of the tree, the DOT comes along, go to the side of it, some distance, and we end up with these tore up, junky trees that were telling the public this is aesthetic. Next, invasive trees like tree of heaven should be completely cut down, stop treated with herbicide. Then next, replace these degraded forests with diverse environment desirable trees. Next, reclaim the right of way. Reclaim it all the way back to the wood line, and then manage with an evergreen group so we end up with low growing, desirable vegetation. Okay. No, so when people go, I don't want any herbicide, use something with non-like mowing. They want climate change. Then why are they stealing over carbon? Basically all vegetation. You get these heavy downpours, you got nothing blocking, washing off. Streams, affecting the wildlife and the fish. Next, and then going to a wetland. Needs and go down stream and pollute some other area. Yeah. When you cut, you're going to get multiple sprouts. You're like copious sprouts, like you get with a shrub where one to push out. This is what we're getting. Continuous. And we've done this. Whether it birds, turtles can get out of the way. Quail and pheasant and turkeys. Next. Go for the DOT. This mode of defense, turkey doesn't stay home, it's all the way up. We've got several examples. You know, right into Oklahoma. They designate from when the monarchs of China migrate back to Mexico, there's nothing for them to eat. It's not all the monarchs or any other. And there's six other B's that are on the list. And that could affect what you do, which is why we have a conservation agreement and assurance with the runway habitat. Next, talking about restoration, when I first started doing the work in the mountain, this is a 3-year transition you see on this railway. It was treated. That's, and I started seeing these orchids. So I called the heritage program in Annapolis, Maryland. I said, where are these things coming from? There was nothing here but trees. And they said, well, the Native Americans on the coastal plain, Delmarva, which were Maryland, or the eastern side of the Chesapeake Bay. They said about every year to drive into prairie underneath the forest. You basically do communicate environment for themselves. Next. So we developed a partnership with the Nature Conservancy and Heritage Program, and I had a sign put up saying this was something that happened to me. So the crews would know only use backpacks when you get in there. There's no GPS back involved. Next. In Delaware, we worked with the Delaware Nature Society, and the only herbaceous plant in this wetland area, outside of the tree, was Phragmites australis, the invasive Phragmites reedgrass. When we got rid of that, you see on the right the graph, we went all the way up to different species that came in. What was all this thing on? Species were lying dormant for that cycle of back up. Next. So we worked with Eastern Neck Wildlife Refuge, controlled Phragmites on 140 acres of reclaiming it. Next. And we did a test site with Chesapeake Farms, which is called Remington Farms, was owned by DuPont back then. We treated the Phragmites with the bullet you see on the left, burned off the thatch layer in the winter, and then came back the next year and touched up the winter. 36 years in Germany. We just okay. This is not the industry. This is federal agency, universities doing it. I'm similar to um, forestry. So we get rid of the trees and invasive plants. We use different chemistry to affect the plants, further weeds, or native stuff comes. Why? We need for that growth. We also recommend in the ANSI that you do a wires and corners so that where the conductors are on the electric line, it's more clear. You shrubs, small stature trees. I did this 40 years ago on Delmar. Next. Next. Frank, that, this woman spotted this weed, which she was spotted this weed outside the right way of the rain, that's her. So in the right way, came back with a big grass, like what's down in the grass. So the quail came back, and the superintendent said, "We haven't had a quail." Landing a turtle, which is a rare turtle. Still 4 years, I've actually with the buckthorn and the trees. Next, with U.S. Fish and Wildlife on a right away with Baltimore Gas and Electric in Maryland, and all these different environmental groups. I reviewed what we're going to do. Once we came in with the tractors and walking out the tree over there, was your any on spread, and the Excel Queen and all the kids, we're going, control the bottom species, and freedom for all. You know, with the field tours we put on, we actually had 50 people from the U.S. They've gone 40 miles from the city. U.S. Fish and Wildlife and U.S. Geological Survey. Jim Jones is yeah, he told me, crap, this is the best free some kind in the Mid-Atlantic states. And it's only 2 years out. So they documented 120 species of birds. Fish and Wildlife even said that the interior dwelling species, what they call the figs, which is why they always want to continue with forest. He said they nest in the forest, but right? Mm-hmm. You see the prairie wolf on the left because they need carbohydrates for their chicks. They can't eat, they need to have things you do, butterfly and moth. That's I wanted to share Cody and we helped develop this flyer, which you know, our website, I mean, email from no, refuge and we We all, which was we made the trees that were too close, we would kill them and make them snacks for trees for wildlife. And again, you see the pollinators coming in on the right of way. We developed a genetic predict when we take where are the plants out there, how good are they on their nectar, how long do they flower, and when it's not you know, so this stems is where bees will nest as well as in the soil. That's shields do they need for their larvae protection. So this is that the should change when you look at like bees. You can see how that's changed in 10 years. If you look at the weatherland, you'll find that the rest of the what's going on in your perching is that where their food is, let's go across the country and use runways and surf corridors and you know, many you can't know everything. In a lot of areas, the U.S. Forest Service is making the utilities only now, which we ran into at Santa Fe National Forest in New Mexico. So you could cut down the trees, but camp from 10 times will sprout. And in the steep slopes, you can't know everything. You're up there with campcutting, which is a pretty risky type of endeavor, especially when you got slipping hazards and rocks, snow, and ice. So you have all that slash. It doesn't decompose very quickly. That's, then you get ponderosa pines and high elevations at 8,000 feet. And you get some pine bark beetles. All you need is a lightning strike and you've got wildfire. So when you're looking at a lot of wildfires, a lot of it has to do with the fact we're not allowing good management of the forest and the road. So here's your wildfire. And on the right is one over in Washington State that sign we were able to put on private rangeland. You can see how that changed over the year. So we could manage for way for bringing plants and fire breaks and hot shot crews and stuff. Like that, we were able to form a partnership with they even gave IVM Partners, because we're nonprofit, a grant to improve range training. Their primary source of income is actually cattle and sheep grazing. And then on you see the horses as well. So we also help cedar and Russian olive in the wetland areas. And again, also we end up with all of it. You know, grass. We did a study in Colorado on grass with rub, which is a herbicide developed by Bayer that NGU markets. And you can see where we've treated, and we have a graph and we actually documented completely the same as those cheatgrass and native grasses. This is a 2 years after it's treated. Well, 100 million cheatgrass all around. one swath we made with an ATV. Next. So when you're looking at the wildfires that we had that devastating fire in La Haina, Hawaii last year. It's actually climate change. What bullshit? It's just makes a buckle great. So you get all these places where they're growing pineapples and they stop and they basically grasses took over the range. California, the biggest grass in California is chicken grass. So you've got grasses spreading fires where it never used to. And we have the same thing with Frank Lake. You get a Frank Lake fire in Penn State. We get a nor'easter here on the coast with running rain, 40-mile-an-hour winds driving a fire. We've got serious problems, just like they had in Hawaii. We've done Franklin control. When I showed earlier, when you right last year, we started with a golf course in there. When you're looking at feeding, well, improve pollinator has plants. Well, we see on the bottom right, it's Ohio State University. You could do that, but it's only about $2,000 an acre to really keep it in place. So when you're talking about planting, we had a site in Oklahoma that was in Warwick. And then nobody did anything for years, and they didn't really grow over. So just clear it, and then we'll come in and treat it, which was done in 2021, and it went back to the native area because the seeds are in the soil. You don't need to put a lot of planting then. But if you are going to plant, do more than something like an orchard grass or Sericea lespedeza, which becomes invasive. Begin with the end in mind. We need grasses over those pipes so we can get in and do methodic testing and maintenance. But we could have forbs on the border zone. So we have a zone border zone. So when you look at the thing where everybody's going and that always being done. Next. Yeah.
We're because of our technical problems in the beginning, we're gonna run a little bit behind. So I hate to take away all your stuff, but the speaker up just a little bit.
Okay.
Sorry.
We'll go real quick. Mullen removes the palms and their application. We've got a study in Tennessee with our Portland students, which was gamer. And we developed a strength behind so you got the wildlife enjoying the border. That's achieving your maintenance. So again, the bee habitat went up. Next, butterfly habitat went up over that same period. Rare species, we get where the states say no, which we had here in Arkansas. Next, developed a partnership with their area program, and we say first come back and back up the next year. And rare species occupy 2% of the areas, went 35% of the plant. And it also saves the company money. It's much cheaper to do backpack treatment. Next. Or suburban areas, there's always a lady in tennis shoes running the show, which I work with here with the main parts of it. They had always mowed it twice a year. They had clear trees for the new FERC regulations on electric. We developed signs saying we're going to change the backpack in spring. And then here's the wetland converted. Here's the gas pipeline converted. And here's the roadside, and we used a plot called Denver for the leaves. Let's keep on going with it, Jared. This is showing over 2 cycles how the plants were retreated in this tree. And then people are back are technically the trail country. Nobody includes land transition. So we restored the habitat and the enjoyment of the pollinators. Yeah. Bring picture back by rated or grass high ordinance and let the utilities manage. plant trees, and then they mow around, which they did here in Maryland. We worked with Maryland, said to stop mowing. We had 51 species come in. Next, we backpack treated, kept them, and next we got Alabama. We did a case study. Only thing they need to mow is zone 1 next to the highway, and zone 2 and zone 3 can be backpack treated. So Dakotas do a lot of the forage for the cattle. Those zones, because I remember horseback riding there when I had a conference in Bismarck. Next, so we had 21 more species with one herbicide treaty. We released when we control the invasives. So highways and utilities that work together. We should have a picture with several highways and utilities on there. Looks to the crops on distribution lines we've treated. That gives you pollinated by the crops that increases yields. We just figure over tonight. We'll go one. Problem things come in and stay. That's great. 176 millions 222. But compared to goats, the eagle rushing. So anything, because the trees they want are there and right over. And it costs $5,600 a they really want to do it. Yes. And they need all this stuff. The phone water. We worked with Fish and Wildlife and actually a organic farm that was the native dairy farm, and we're able to treat with liver. We've done high landfills, open areas. Next, we work with Wildlife Habitat Council doing areas for them. Next, golf courses where we said just stop mowing, and nobody came back. We just took out the tree. They don't really need to mow golf. We came in and treatment and all the pollinator plants came back. Next. So in conclusion, you look at all the things that can be done. Mowing should be restricted to normal season, use the herbicide to restore the early. We control climate change in that fashion. And here's my website. Information you need. I know that's all.
You did great. So, any other questions? Yeah. Thank you very much for
Okay, guys, take care. Enjoy.
Thank you. Thanks, bye. Oh, yes. Great. Thanks.